Business Studies, Chapter 5, Organizing. Way to go, Wipro. It's not quite there yet, but the goal is certain within reach. One of India's largest IT solution provider, Wipro Technologies, is taking on the likes of IBM and Accenture in its effort to be included among the largest and the most successful technology services companies in the world. Recruiting Restructuring Wipro was considered the most important step in becoming a global giant, driven by the goal towards improved customer orientation. During the past few months, Wipro separated itself into several subsidiaries by product line: telecommunications, engineering, financial services, etc. Each subsidiary brings in about $300 millions in annual earnings and is self-sufficient with their own accounting books, personal and administrative functions. Wipro shifted from a centralized to decentralized management system. All responsibilities for growth lay with the management of each entity. We tried to delay we tried to delayer the organization and empower our business leaders with a much higher degree of growth responsibility, said Premji. We removed an entire layer of executives. Once the plans have been laid down and objectives specified therein, the next step is to organize resources in a manner which leads to the accomplishment of objectives. A critical issue in accomplishing the goals specified in the planning process is structuring the work of an organization to adapt to the dynamic business environment. The activities of an enterprise must be organized in such a manner that plans can be successfully implemented. For planning to be fruitful, a number of considerations like resources that will be needed, optimum utilization of the same, translation of work into attainable tasks, empowering the workforce to accomplish these tasks, etc., need to be understood and dealt with properly. It is evident from the way Wipro has moved towards reaching for its goal of becoming a globally successful technology company that organizing plays a significant role in implementation of plans. What has Wipro done to become a contending force among other global giants? Are there lessons to be learned from Wipro's approach? Wipro organized itself in a manner that allowed customer orientation to dominate over the goals and diversified on the basis of product lines. It also modified the relationship within the management hierarchy to suit the goals. The management function of organizing ensures that efforts are directed towards the attainment of goals laid down in the planning functioning in such a manner that resources are used optimally and people are able to work collectively and effectively for a common purpose. Thus, it is in the context of effective management that the organization function earns due importance. It is a means of translating plans into action. The organizing function leads to the creation of an organizational structure which includes the designing of roles to be filled by suitably skilled people and defining the interrelationship between these roles so that ambiguity in performance of duties can be eliminated. Not only is this important for productive cooperation between the personnel, but also for clarification of extent of authority as well as responsibility for results and logical grouping of activities. Meaning, let us take an example to understand how organizing takes place. Have you ever paid attention to how the school fete, which you enjoy so much, actually takes place? What does what goes on behind the scene to make it the desired reality you want? The whole activity is divided into task group, each dealing with a specific area like the food committee, the decoration committee, the ticketing committee, and so on. These are under the overall supervision of the official in charge of the event. Coordinating relationships are established among the various groups to enable smooth interaction and clarity about each group's contribution towards the event. All the above activities are a part of organizing functions. Organizing essentially implies a process which coordinates human efforts, assembles resources, and integrates both into a unified whole to be utilized for achieving specified objectives. Organizing can be defined as a process that initiates implementation of plans by clarifying jobs and working relationships and effectively deploying resources for attainment of identified and desired results goals. Steps in the process of organizing. Organizing involves a series of steps that needs to be taken in order to achieve the desired goals. Let us try and understand how organizing is carried out with the help of an example. Suppose 12 students work for the school library in the summer vacation. One afternoon, they are told to unload a shipment of new releases, stock the bookshelves, and then dispose of all the waste, packaging, paper, etc. If all the students decide to do it in their own way, it will result in mass confusion. However, if one student supervises the work by grouping students, dividing the work, assigning each group their quota and developing the reporting relationship among them, the job will be done faster and in a better manner. From the above description, the following steps emerge in the process of organizing. 1. Identification and division of work. The first step in the process of organizing involves identifying and dividing the work that has to be done in accordance with previously determined plans. The work is divided into manageable activities so that duplication can be avoided and the burden of the work can be shared among the employees. 2. Departmentalization. Once work has been divided into small and manageable activities, then those activities which are similar in nature are grouped together. Such sets facilitate specialization. This grouping process is called departmentalization. Departments can be created using several criteria as a basis. Examples of some of the most popularly used bases are territory, north, south, west, etc., and products, appliances, clothes, cosmetics, etc. Definitions of organizing. Organizing is the process of identifying and grouping the work to be performed, defining and delegating responsibilities and authority, and establishing relationships for the purpose of enabling people to work most effectively together in accomplishing objectives. By Lewis Allen. Organizing is the process of defining and grouping the activities of the enterprise and establishing authority relationship among them. By Theo Heyman. Your school must have various societies for extracurricular activities like the Dramatic Society, the Quiz Club, the Economics Society, the Debating Society, and so on. Observe and list the ways they have organized their activities using division of labor, chain of communication, and the levels they have adopted for reporting on work. How far is this similar to the process you have read about? 3. Assignment of duties. It is necessary to define the work of different job positions and accordingly allocate the work to various employees. Once departments have been formed, each of them is placed under the charge of an individual. Jobs are then allocated to the members of each department in accordance to their skills and competencies. It is essential for effective performance that a proper match is made between the nature of the job and the ability of the individual. The work must be assigned to those who are best fitted to perform it well. 4. Establishing reporting relationships. Merely allocating work is not enough. Each individual should also know who he has to take orders from and to whom he is accountable. The establishment of such clear relationship helps to create a hierarchical structure and helps in coordination among the various departments. Importance of organizing. Performance of the organizing function can pave the way for a smooth transition of the enterprise in accordance with the dynamic business environment. The significance of the organizing function mainly arises from the fact that it helps in the survival and growth of an enterprise and equips it to meet the various challenges. In order for any business enterprise to perform tasks and successfully meet goals, the organizing function must be properly performed. The following points highlight the crucial role that organizing plays in any business enterprise. 1. Benefits of specialization. Organizing leads to a systematic allocation of jobs amongst the workforce. This reduces the workload as well as enhances productivity because of the specific workers performing a specific job on a regular basis. Repetitive performance of a particular task allows a worker to gain experience in that area and leads to specialization. 2. Clarity in working relationships. The establishment of working relationships clarify lines of communication and specifies who is to report to whom. This removes ambiguity in transfer of information and instructions. It helps in creating a hierarchical order, thereby enabling the fixation of responsibility and specification of the extent of authority to be exercised by an individual. 3. Optimum utilization of resources. Organizing leads to the proper usage of all material, financial, and human resources. The proper assignment of jobs avoid overlapping of work and also makes possible the best use of resources. Avoidance of duplication of work helps in preventing confusion and minimizing the wastage of resources and efforts. 4. Adaptation to change. The process of organizing allows a business enterprise to accommodate changes in the business environment. It allows the organization structure to be suitably modified and the revision of interrelationships amongst managerial levels to pave the way for a smooth transition. It also provides much needed stability to the enterprise as it can then continue to survive and grow in spite of changes. 5. Effective administration. Organizing provides a clear description of jobs and related duties. This helps to avoid confusion and duplication. Clarity in working relationships enables proper execution of work. Management of an enterprise thereby becomes easy, and this brings effectiveness in administration. 6. Development of personnel. Organizing stimulates creativity amongst the managers. Effective delegation allows the managers to reduce their workload by assigning routine jobs to their subordinates. The reduction in workload by delegation is not just necessary because of the limited capacity of an individual, but also allows the manager to develop new methods and ways of performing tasks. It gives them the time to explore areas for growth and the opportunity to innovate, thereby strengthening the company's competitive position. Delegation also develops in the subordinate the ability to deal effectively with challenges and helps them to realize their full potential. 7. Expansion and growth. Organizing helps in the growth and diversification of an enterprise by enabling it to deviate from existing norms and taking up new challenges. It allows a business enterprise to add more job positions, departments, and even diversify their product lines. New geographical territories can be added to the current areas of operation, and this will help to increase the customer base, sales, and profit. Thus, organizing is a process by which the manager brings order out of chaos, removes conflict among the people, overwork or responsibility sharing, and creates an environment suitable for teamwork. Organizing leads to specialization in work. A pitfall of this is that repetitive performance of the same job may lead to monotony, stress, boredom, and absenteeism. What can managers do to improve the scenario? Organization structure. Organization structure is the outcome of the organizing process. An effective structure will result in increased profitability of the enterprise. The need for an adequate organization structure is felt by an enterprise whenever it grows in size or complexities. It is only those enterprises which do not focus on growth that can maintain a particular structure for a long period of time. However, it is important to understand that such stagnancy may prove to be detrimental to an enterprise, as those companies which do not change at all will close down or cease to grow. As an organization grows, coordination becomes difficult due to the emergence of new functions and increase in structural hierarchies. Thus, for an organization to function smoothly and face environmental changes, it becomes necessary to pay attention to its structure. Peter Drucker emphasizes on the importance of having an appropriate organization structure when he says organization structure is an indispensable means, and the wrong structure will seriously impair business performance and even destroy it. The organization structure can be defined as the framework within which managerial and operating tasks are performed. It specifies the relationship between people, work, and resources. It allows correlation and coordination among the human, physical, and financial resources, and this enables a business enterprise to accomplish desired goals. The organization structure of a firm is shown in the organizational chart. The span of management to a large extent gives shape to the organizational structure. Span of management refers to the number of subordinates that can be effectively managed by a superior. This determines the level of management in the structure. A proper organization structure is essential to ensure a smooth flow of communication and better control over the operations of a business enterprise. An organization structure provides the framework which enables the enterprise to function as an integrated unit by regulating and coordinating the responsibilities of individuals and departments. Let us try and understand this through an example. For example, Sunita opened her own travel agency. The success of her travel agency depends on a harmonious relationship between the customer and the employees of the travel agency. In order to achieve this objective, she has divided the entire work of the agency into three subheads based on the functions, namely operations, sales, and administration. Operations includes travel counseling, counselor, reservation and ticketing, and customer care. Sales include the accounts, executive administration includes bookkeepers, cashiers, and utility personas. This division of work on the basis of functions has resulted into an organizational structure specifying the line of authority and responsibility. Honda to strengthen structure of its R&D operations. Corporate February 21, 2006. Tokyo, Japan, February 21, 2006. Honda Motor Company Limited announced plans effective April 1, 2006 to launch a new organization structure for Honda R&D Company Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of Honda responsible for research and development activities. Due to recent technological advancements and continued business expansion, the variety and complexities of technological components and the number of vehicles under the development of Honda R&D have increased dramatically. The new structure will be launched both in response to this situation and to prepare for further expansion of business in the future. The new structure will enable each associate to demonstrate a high level of initiative with more clear definition and roles and responsibilities and bold delegation of authority. Moreover, the new structure is designed to achieve smoother communication to help accelerate decision making within the organization. The key elements of the new structure are as follows. Outline of the new structure. Existing R&D centers including Asaka R&D Center, Wako R&D Center, and Toshigi R&D Center, which are currently organized based on geographical location, will be reorganized into five centers based on specific functions. The names of the five centers will be Motorcycle Development Center, Automobile Development Center, Power Products Development Center, Aero Engine Development Center, and Basic Technology Research Center. Each center will have separate offices for planning, product development, technology development, and administration with clearly defined roles. Primary authority to make operational decisions currently held by the head of each center will be delegated to the head of each office within which each center to achieve an autonomous operational structure through which each office can make more decisions. A flat and less layered organization structure will be employed to ensure smooth and direct communication between the head of the office and each associate. The product development function of the Automobile Development Center will be further separated between the Honda brand and Acura brand. This structural change is a part of Honda's continuous efforts to strengthen the core characteristics that make Honda unique, and its purpose is to continue creating advanced and creative technologies and products that are unique to Honda, which in turn will enable Honda to continue to be a company that society wants to exist. Types of organization structures. The types of structure adopted by an organization will vary with the nature and types of activities performed by an organization. The organizational structure can be classified under two categories, which are as follows: Functional structure and divisional structure. Functional structure. Grouping of jobs of similar nature under functional and organizing these major functions are departments create separate departments creates a functional structure. All departments report to a coordinating head. Functional structure: managing director, human resources, marketing, research and development, purchasing. For example, in a manufacturing concern, division of work into key functions will include production, purchase, marketing, accounts, and personnel. These departments may be further divided into sections. Thus, a functional structure is an organizational design that groups similar or related jobs together. Advantages. The functional structure has many advantages to offer. Important among them are as follows. A functional structure leads to occupational specialization since emphasis is placed on specific functions. This promotes efficiency in utilization of manpower as employees perform similar tasks within a department and are able to improve performance. B. It promotes control and coordination within a department because of similarity in the task being performed. It helps in increasing managerial and operational efficiency, and this results in increased profits. D. It leads to minimal duplication of efforts, which results in economies of scale and this lowers cost. E. It makes training of employees easier as the focus is only on a limited range of skills. F. It ensures that different functions get due attention. Disadvantages. The functional The functional structure has certain disadvantages which an organization must take into consideration before it adopts it. Some of them are as follows. A. A functional structure places less emphasis on overall enterprise objectives than the objectives pursued by a functional head. Such practices may lead to functional empires wherein the importance of a particular function may be overemphasize. Pursuing departmental interests at the cost of organizational interests can also hinder the interaction between two or more departments. B. It may lead to problems in coordination as information has to be exchanged across functionally differentiated departments. C. A conflict of interest may arise when the interests of two or more departments are not compatible. For example, the sales department insisting on a customer friendly design may cause difficulties in production. Such dissensions can prove to be harmful in terms of fulfillment of organizational interest. Interdepartmental conflicts can also arise in the absence of clear separation of responsibility. It may lead to inflexibilities as people with the same skills and knowledge base may develop a narrow perspective and thus have difficulty in a appreciating a other point of view. Functional heads do not get training for top management positions because they are unable to gather experience in diverse areas. Suitability. It is more suitable when the size of the organization is large, has a diversified activities, and operations require a high degree of specialization. Divisional structure. Many large organizations with diversified activities have reorganized themselves away from the simpler and basic functional structure towards a divisional structure which is more suited to their activities. This is particularly true of those enterprises which have more than one category of products to offer. This is because although every organization performs a set of homogeneous functions, as it diversifies into varied product categories, the need for a more evolved structural design is felt to cope with the emerging complexity. In a divisional structure, the organization structure comprises of separate business units or divisions. Each unit has a divisional manager responsible for performance and who has authority over the unit. Generally, manpower is grouped on the basis of different products manufactured. Each division is multifunctional because within each division, functions like production, marketing, finance, purchase, etc., are performed together to achieve a common goal. Each division is self contained and it develops expertise in all functions related to a product line. In other words, within each division, the functional structure tends to be adopted. However, functions may vary across divisions in accordance with a particular product line. Managing director, organization chart showing division and functional structure. Managing director, cosmetic garments, footwear, skinwear. Garments further divided into human resources, marketing, research and development, purchasing. Further, each division works as a profit center where the divisional head is responsible for the profit or loss of the division. For example, a large company may have divisions like cosmetics, clothing, etc. Advantages. The divisional structure offers many benefits. Prominent among these are as follows. Product specialization helps in the development of varied skills in a divisional head, and this prepares him for higher position. This is because he gains experience in all functions related to a particular product. B. Divisional heads are accountable for profits as revenues and costs related to different departments can be easily identified and assigned to them. This provides a proper basis for performance measurement. It also helps in fixation of responsibility in case of poor performance of the division, and appropriate remedial actions can be taken. C. It promotes flexibility and initiative because each division functions as an autonomous unit, which leads to faster decision making. D. It facilitates expansion and growth as new division can be added without interrupting the existing operations by merely adding another divisional head and staff for the new product line. Disadvantage. The divisional structure has certain disadvantages. Some of them are as follows. A. Conflict may arise among different divisions with reference to allocation of funds, and further, a particular division may seek to maximize its profit at the cost of another division. B. It may lead to increase in costs since there may be a duplication of activities across the products. Providing each division with separate set of similar functions increases expenditure. C. It provides managers with the authority to supervise all activities related to a particular division. In course of time, such a manager may gain power and in a bid to assert his independence may ignore organizational interest. Suitability. Divisional structure is suitable for those business enterprise where a large variety of products are manufactured using different productive resources. When an organization grows and needs to add more employees, create more departments, and introduce new levels of management, it will decide to adopt a divisional structure. Table 1 provides a comparison of functional and divisional structure to provide further clarity to the topic. Thus, it can be said that business operates in a dynamic environment, and those enterprises which fail to adapt to changes are unable to survive. Hence, management must continuously review its plans and objectives, and accordingly, the organization structure of the enterprise should also be subjected to periodic review to determine if modification is required. An organization structure at all times should contribute towards the achievement of the enterprise objectives and should provide scope. Comparative view, functional and divisional structure. Basis, functional structure, divisional structure. Formation. Formation is based on functions. Formation is based on product line and is supported by functions. Specialization, functional specialization, product specialization. Responsibility, difficult to fix on department, easy to fix responsibility for performance. Managerial department, difficult as each functional manager has to report to the top management. Easier autonomy as well as chance to perform multiple functions help in managerial development. Cost, functions are not duplicated, hence economical. Duplication of resources in various departments, hence costly. Coordination, difficult in multi-product company. Easy because all functions related to a particular product are integrated in one department. For initiative, so that contribution of personnel can be maximum and effective. Formal and informal organization. In all organizations, employees are guided by rules and procedures to enable smooth functioning of the enterprise. Job description and rules and procedures related to work processes have to be laid down. This is done through the formal organization. Formal organizations refer to the organization structure which is designed by the management to accomplish a particular task. It specifies clarity, the boundaries of authority and responsibility, and there is a systematic coordination among the various activities to achieve organizational goals. The structure in a formal organization can be functional or divisional. The formal organization can be better understood by a study of its features, which are as follows. It specifies the relationship among the various job positions and the nature of their interrelationship. This clarifies who has to report to whom. B. It is a means to achieve the objectives specified in the plan as it lays down rules and procedures essential for their achievement. C. Efforts of various departments are coordinated, interlinked, and integrated through the formal organization. It is deliberately designed by the top management to facilitate smooth functioning of the organization. E. It places more emphasis on work to be performed than interpersonal relationships among the employees. Advantages. Formal organization offers many advantages. Some of the important ones are: A. It is easier to fix responsibilities since relationships are clearly defined. B. There is no ambiguity in the role that each member has to play as duties are specified. This also helps in avoiding duplication of efforts. C. Unity of command is maintained through an established chain of command. D. It leads to effective accomplishment of goals by providing a framework for the operations to be performed and ensuring that each employee knows the role he has to play. E. It provides stability to the organization. This is because behavior of the employees can be fairly predicted since there are specific rules to guide them. Limitations. The formal organization suffers from the following limitations. A. The formal communication may lead to procedural delays as the established chain of command has to be followed, which increases the time taken for decision making. B. Poor organization practices may not provide adequate recognition to creative talent since it does not allow any deviations from rigidity laid down policies. C. It is difficult to understand all human relationships in an enterprise as it places more emphasis on structure and work. Hence, the formal organization does not provide a complete picture of how an organization works. Formal organization. A formal organization is a system of well defined jobs, each bearing a definite measure of authority, responsibility, and accountability. Lewis Allen. Formal organization is a system of consistent of consciously coordinated activities of two or more persons towards a common objective by Chester Bernard. B. Poor organization practices may not provide adequate recognition to creative talent since it does not allow any deviations from rigidity laid down policies. C. It is difficult to understand all human relationships in an enterprise as it places more emphasis on structure and work. Hence, the formal organization does not provide complete picture of how an organization works.